Just here at the market with Rick Sebak.
Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon. Everyone knows that food is cool. No secret. Eat that food with a bowl and spoon.
I pale in comparison to Rick Sebak. I said I pale in comparison to Rick Sebak. Nobody knows.
No,
I'm here. Oh yeah, hi Shelly.
Rick, I can see.
I love that.
You don't pale in comparison to anyone.
Oh, that's funny. You know Rick Sebak?
I have met Mr. Rick Sebak before. Yes, I used to work at Bike in Pittsburgh, and I ran into you probably at open streets and stuff like that.
Okay.
But my name is Jane.
Hey, Jane.
This is my farm.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You grew these collards.
I did, yes.
I got to take them. I love collards.
Good. Me too.
But I make them Brazilian style.
Someone else told me that recently, and I had never heard of that before. So I'd be curious to hear more about what that is that you.
Yeah, what is Brazilian style?
Well, I learned about it from, there used to be a Brazilian restaurant in Highland Park. It was on Bryant. And Kayla is the name of the woman. She's Brazilian. And she always had collards.
Was it Casa Brazil?
Yeah, Casa
Yes.
Brazil.
Okay.
She now has a store, I think, in the North Hills somewhere. But
I was so bummed when they closed.
yes, it was really excellent. But you just julienne them and then fry them in garlic and butter and a little bit of oil for like 2 or 3 minutes.
That's wonderful.
Which is so different than the way Southern collards are made.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to take these.
There's
Use
a
it as a
misconception
hand.
that you must cook collards for a long time, and they're really good that way, but you don't have to.
They're so much better Brazilians. Thank you. Hey, I didn't expect collards.
Yeah, we have them pretty much all year round. They're just one of our favorites.
Your bok choy and pak choy. Is it all pak choy?
No, that's bok choy.
choy.
That one's
That's
bok
bok
choy,
choy, I
and
know.
then I have a pak choy here. Yeah.
Oh, you got.
What's the difference?
Two.
You know, I've done my research and I've found conflicting information, but some research says that the white stem is a bok choy and the green stem is a pak choy. I find this one to be a little bit more mustardy and this one a little sweeter. But they're really the same family, just like kale
Obviously.
has different varieties.
Yeah.
They're so similar.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. You can do the same recipes with them. So yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you.
thank you.
See ya. You know Wise County biscuits, right?
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They used to do the grill, but they got a brick and mortar place on the north side. And they make
Wise
such
County.
amazing biscuits. Do you like biscuits?
Of course.
Don't want to assume. They opened the brick and mortar over on the north side during the winter.
9/11
It's
Galveston.
really lovely. They used to have the grill, and they cook up the biscuits for you. Cook up the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits are the best. So this is the farmer's grill. Jen, where's Greg?
Oh, Rick Sebak.
How are you?
I know. I can't believe he's not here. That's hilarious.
Well, you know, we started doing the Ligonier Farmers Market.
Oh yeah.
We need to start rotating doing farmers markets.
Yep.
Stay home today.
This is Jen Montgomery. She is
Jen.
the owner
Very
of
good. Excellent.
Farmer's Grill.
It smells really good. So
Can we hook you up with a burger? We raise our pork on the farm up in Natrona Heights.
it's a pork burger?
It is. It's called the original hamburger.
Yeah.
And, what we do, we make Verizon swine here at the farmers market. We use our farm eggs and we put it on a pork patty. You can do chorizo, maple, or garlic with their own garlic salt. And then we use Redworks buns and cheese from Cherish Creamery and Miller's mustard and from Mars, and then sauerkraut from Clarion River Organic. A hyper-local burger.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Are we eating?
We can eat if you want to eat. Go for it. Yep.
Let me look.
So you want like brown mustard or
These are the pork patties.
They look great.
The maple patties and the chorizo, and then today we're doing honey barbecue bratwurst pizza sandwich as well, and our farm eggs, and then we get polenta from Nigel Tudor's farm out in Avella, and so it's certified organic heritage corn.
From where in Avella?
Nigel Tudor, Weatherbury.
Weatherbury Farms. I love Weatherbury Farms.
And what else? The hot dogs are not ours. They come from a grass-fed cooperative, beef cooperative up in
These look better.
Area. Yeah. Samples up there if you want to try the honey barbecue.
Wow. Well, let's walk on. I will remember this.
We'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, those
I
look.
gotta get a selfie with you though, so I can brag to Greg.
Well, you want a picture? She'll take it. I thought it was gonna be a good day with no people, but no. It's all people.
You want a cocktail?
It's a little early for that, isn't it?
Is it though?
Where's Lucky Sign?
Gibsonia.
In Gibsonia. Huh.
We have limoncello, our best seller.
It never appeals to me, limoncello.
Yeah.
It never appeals to me. Gin rested in bourbon barrels, that sounds better. Rock and rye sounds better.
Our Akavit won second best in the world 2 years ago. We are waiting to hear back this year. We won best in the world.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool.
If you like gin, it's like gin, but it doesn't have the pininess gin has. It's caraway, fennel, and dill. So it's really different for the American palate. We're used to eating things that taste like that, but not drinking things that taste like that. And I also mix it with our limoncello, and it makes it an incredibly refreshing drink.
All right. Well, cool. Onward?
Thanks. Yeah.
We could spend a lot of money.
Yeah. I often do.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's hard to treat it as a like a grocery store and have a list, but sometimes I do.
Sandhill Berries, I know well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I drove out there already this year.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Where are they located?
Out near New Stanton.
Okay. So right off the turnpike.
Yeah. I just wrote a thing for Table Magazine about my 10 favorite sweets. And I included them because I wanted to start and end with pie. And I started at the Grant Bar in Millvale and ended with them.
Now, you were talking about getting a hamburger with cheese, and you're splitting that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that?
What are they?
Those are the toppings. There's ketchup, yellow mustard, and mayonnaise.
Yeah. That's our honey barbecue sauce. We recommend Kraut and Miller's.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Look at all these different kinds of bacon.
Their bacon is really tasty.
So if I open this, I can see what they look like?
Absolutely. Please feel free.
It was the different kinds of bacon. Smoked. Ham loaf. Well, that looks serious, doesn't it?
That is, yeah.
It's all just smoked. Oh, other bacons. Other bacons.
Jowl.
Canadian style smoked bacon.
I like that it's just other bacon.
Hillbilly.
Oh, hillbilly bacon. That's the big cuts.
That's the one I want.
Whoa. Smoked shoulder butt hillbilly bacon. That does look good.
This looks really good.
I hope you enjoy.
Oh, welcome to With Bowl and Spoon. Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm honored to be here.
I'm so glad. I thought it was really funny when you called me and you're like, I don't know if I'm qualified. I was like, come on.
Well, no, but I mean, even just walking through the market here with you, you know so much about the food business and all of that. And as I said, I'm just an eater. I mean,
No, you're very educated too. So you do shows
Right.
about food, and I guess primarily you're a historian.
I always just say I'm a TV guy. I mean,
That's a real
yeah.
general term,
No, I like the fact that, that some people, because the woman who hired me at one point said, we should call your programs the Pittsburgh History Series. So I do get this history angle.
Yeah.
And I much prefer history to nostalgia because I think it is, I want it to be history rather than, things used to be so much better because I'm not sure of that.
Well, facts versus emotional. So
Exactly.
Okay.
I always remember.
Here you are.
Thank you.
And then napkins for you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And We're having a pork burger, a hamburger. How are you?
Good. I saw you up and down the way.
Excellent.
You were saying that you're just an eater, or you're a historian.
Right, historian and an enthusiast. I mean, and I always remember a quote that I read from W.H. Auden, who said something along the lines of, you know, if you don't care about what you eat, you can't care about anything. And so I think no matter what story I'm doing, I know there's a connection to food somehow. And I always enjoy that. And it's true. I mean, when you're out with a crew, you look forward to the meals. And, you know, I just, you know, have looked for kinds of foods that I love. And, you know, no rules. I just, you know, I always remember my glee when I did a show for PBS on cemeteries. And in Atlanta, across the street from the cemetery was a restaurant called 6 Feet Under. And I just thought like, whoa, yes. So we did a story about them. You know, it's hard to know if you could do a story about food for cemeteries.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's always a food angle. And so I love that. And I remember when we do national shows, we tend to do two at once. And we were doing hot dogs and amusement parks, great old amusement parks. And the crew was totally on the amusement park side. And I said, no, I think, you know, I'm really excited about the hot dog. They said, nobody's going to watch that hot dog show. But it's just, they both were successful. But there's no question that the hot dog show was more successful. People loved that. And so that's sort of just the way I operate. And thank you. It's 25 years since I did a hot dog program.
Really?
So I want to see if I could possibly get hot dogs too.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking seriously about a show about chicken, fried chicken, because it cuts across so many cultures. You know, there's Korean fried chicken and Nashville chicken. And I went to Indiana a few weeks ago and I found out about this place, Wagner's, in a small town. And everybody said, this is the best chicken. It's doused in black pepper and then fried in hog fat.
Oh.
It was so good. And then when I got there, on their menu, it says, you know, they won the 2023 James Beard Award for American Classic.
Wow.
And it's just a little family bar. And I said, it made me love the James Beard Awards even more.
Yeah.
So
I want to go there. No, I've had a craving for fried chicken. So it's funny that you said that, because I've been craving fried chicken for probably, I guess, a week. You know, when you have, like, I had surgery, you had a procedure this week as well. When you have that and you're just like, I can't eat anything, and you're thinking about the things you want to eat, right?
Yes.
And the thing that I was focused on was fried chicken, but I haven't been able to find any fried chicken to eat since I guess it's been a week. So I'm jonesing.
Wow. Where would I go here for fried chicken? That's a good question. Carmine's has good fried chicken.
Yeah. They're only catering now, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know. Have they closed the place on the south side?
I thought so. I don't know.
I don't know either.
These are.
Yes. I go out to eat.
You do a whole show on restaurants that used to be there.
I go out to eat so much less often than I used to. And I think that's a cause of the pandemic and trying to lose some weight. You know, both factors mean that I don't go out. And it's just, you know, actually I talked to my friend Minette. We used to go out to lunch every day with our friend Kevin. And
the best part of the workday. Right.
But, you know, the pandemic just put an end to all of that. And our friend Kevin passed away. And, you know, so it's, I say, when I drive around, I say, we used to go to lunch there. We used to go to lunch there. We used to go to lunch there. And, you know, now we don't go to lunch at all, hardly. So
that sucks.
You know, but I'm looking forward to going to Amels. Have you ever been to Amels over in Rankin?
No.
Oh, that's one of my favorite places. And, you know, a place that we love. It's an old steelworker bar in Rankin, across from the Rankin Police Department. And they are famous for their fish sandwich. And
A-M-E-L?
E-M-I-L''S. So it looks like Emil's, but he was Serbian, and he pronounced it Emil. So Emil's in Rankin. And Chrissy Coaches runs it now. She's Emil's daughter. But really good food, famous for their Reuben, their fish sandwich. And I always like to say their steak sandwich is also fun because it's just a piece of Italian bread with a steak on top. But a really wonderful atmosphere and all of that. And this is, oh God, it must be 10 years ago. Andrew Zimmern came to town. And I got a call from a guy who used to work at QED. I didn't know this. He was Andrew Zimmern's executive producer now down in Washington at the Travel Channel. And he said, would you be Zimmern's guide to the Strip? And I said, oh, that would be so much fun.
Wow, yeah.
And so his producer came to town a week before and said, here's our list of places we're going. Where do you suggest, you know? And so we went over that in the Strip. The only place that was a huge success was I said, you have to go to Lucy's for a banh mi. And
Lucy's.
And she and Andrew Zimmern just, I think they were like flirting the whole time. And so then his producer said, is there any other place in Pittsburgh that you would recommend? And I said, he showed me their list. And I said, well, there's this bar that I love in Rankin, Amel's, an old steelworker bar. And Andrew Zimmern loved it so much. He's been back 3 times, including for a show like My Top 10 Places That I Love in America. It's just, he just was taken by it as I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So simple and delicious and, you know, a great lunch place. They don't stay open really late for dinner. I think they close at 7. So, you know, and that's the kind of thing I love to do, is just to share my enthusiasms with people. In fact, we got to taste this before it gets cold.
Yeah, we should probably eat this burger, yeah.
Yes.
Hamburger from the Farmer's Grill.
And we're standing right here. We can still see her making more.
Wonder if the sizzle's being picked up by the mics.
Pretty great.
That's lovely. Let's just us chewing for like 10 minutes.
Exactly. No. It could be spicier. That's what I would look for.
In the meat?
In the meat or the toppings. I want to have a little more zing. But the patty itself is really good. We have cheese, kraut, and a little
kind of sweet kraut. Oops. It's a little messy. A little bit.
Yes, I was worried about my shirt, but now I'm okay. The table caught it.
I had a run-in with a mulberry bush yesterday. I didn't notice it until I was in the car. But I was picking mulberries. And I guess I picked one and it flung, and then mulberries rained down on me. And I had like lines on my face. I was in a mulberry war yesterday. It was good.
Mulberries are ripe already?
Yeah. And, you know, not all mulberries are made equal. Like there's the little ones can sometimes be like musty tasting. But I pick street fruit when I see it all the time. But there are these ones in the alley in Highland Park between Portland and Mellon Street and Bryant Street and Hampton. That one alley. There's this mulberry bush. The mulberries are like that long. They're really long and they're so juicy. But mulberries are so fragile. You don't find them at markets anywhere. And the only time you can eat them is when they're falling off the tree.
Wow, excellent.
And they're delicious.
It makes me think of huckleberries.
I don't know huckleberries. I mean, I wouldn't know them.
They're like a very small blueberry, but no one's figured out how to produce them, commercially. So if you can ever get huckleberries, they're usually hand-picked. And I had them in Montana. And there, everybody knows when you go out to pick huckleberries, you have to be careful because the only other species that wants them is bears. And if there's a patch of huckleberries, you have to watch for bears.
Wow.
And
the stakes are high.
yeah. But some incredible huckleberry peach pie in up near Glacier National Park. I'm forgetting the name of the town. White Horse? No. It's really great pie. But I mean, that's one of the joys of my job, is that we got to travel the country tasting pies. And it's really hard work, but someone has to do it. And in that case, we were doing pies and bakeries at the same time. And so to take advantage of the travel, we usually try to set up 2 shoots in the same town.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
And try to get in each show to either Hawaii or Alaska, just to remind people that, hey, these are also states.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the reason. Not because you get to travel there. No, it's great to go places and experience the local, like, things that grow natively. We went to Belize, and I didn't realize that cashews grow in Belize. And the cashew fruit, have you ever seen a cashew fruit?
Yes.
It's so wild. And it's another one of those, like,
because I think in Portuguese
things.
it's called caju. Cajuada is a drink they make from the fruit.
Oh, we wondered why we didn't see more stuff made from the fruit.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was real tanniny. But it was fascinating. So I love doing stuff like that and being able to experience your story with the bears. Did you see a bear when you were out picking them?
No, we didn't go picking.
Oh, okay.
We just indulged.
Gotcha.
When we had the opportunity, to try some of those huckleberry pies. And then somebody was shooting a movie here in town, and they imported gallons of huckleberries because they wanted huckleberry pies on the set or something for some reason.
Oh my God.
For a plot reason.
Wow.
But
that's huge. Then did you make them into pies?
I did.
Nice.
I'm Andy Winsco, who runs the Pittsburgh Smokehouse truck. At that time, he and his daughter were interested in pie making and everything, and she and I made several pies.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, and so it was really fun out in their kitchen out in Wilkins Township when they were out there.
I'm glad that the prop didn't get wasted.
No.
That's huge.
No, he called me and he said, "Hey, we have all these huckleberries. You want to do something with them?" I said, "Yes, pies."
Oh, absolutely.
So,
great. So you have an interest in food, and you travel around, and some of your programs are about food, but not necessarily. But a lot of people aren't as interested, invested, curious about different foods. So it's not just that it didn't just it's not what's my question? It's not obvious that everybody would be interested in these things. You're a very unique person. So how did you get interested? Who built that interest in food in you?
wow.
Where'd that come from?
It must be my parents.
Okay.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, and I would say intrinsically my father was probably a more adventurous eater than my mother, but I don't think she ever said no to things. And I remember because I became a Francophile early on in my career because at my grade school there was a kid whose mother was a French war bride from World War II, and she thought her English would be better if she tried to teach French to kids. And so starting in second grade, I had French classes once a week, and I learned to love France. And eventually, because of, attrition and things like that, she couldn't come still. By the time we got to sixth grade, there weren't enough kids in the class who had been there since second grade. And so we started going to her house, and she taught us to cook. I remember her teaching us how to make her family's stew, ragu, not the Italian ragu, but the French ragout, ragu, and just so much fun. All these different things, and I learned to love that. I learned to love eating. My dad cooked on weekends, and I guess in ways that my mom didn't, and then as a student, I got to go to Brazil as a foreign exchange student, and that opened all these other ideas. And I just sort of told myself I'm going to try anything. And I I remember one day we had a brain for lunch, you know. And,
in Brazil.
In Brazil, yeah.
Wow.
And I remember my Brazilian brother saying, "Do you know what that is?" And I said, "It looks like a brain." He goes, "That's what it is."
Wow.
You know, but
and you just were like, okay, this
let's
is what
try
I'm doing
it.
now.
If the family's eating it, I'm going to eat it. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair.
So, I became, you know, so accustomed to eating black beans and rice. That would have been in 1970 when I came back to Pittsburgh. And this is so funny now. It was almost impossible to find black beans in Pittsburgh in 1970. My father found them in the gourmet section of Kaufman's downtown, a little bag.
Whoa.
But I was so happy, you know, to have black beans again.
So you came back from Brazil and you're telling your parents you really want some black beans, and your dad's like, I will hunt them down for you.
Exactly.
That's lovely.
Yes. So, you know, and I guess that encouragement and all of that led to me loving food. But, you know, I guess it's also sort of natural, isn't it?
You think. But no, a lot of people are afraid of things. So.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty remarkable. It sounds like you had a really good, lovely childhood, and I wish I could meet your parents. You sound like amazing people. And your friend's mom. So you speak fluent French now?
No. I also did a year in France when I was in college. So yeah, at that point I probably was pretty good.
Oh wait, I heard about a food tie-in from you. I was listening to an interview, and for your 21st birthday, you went to some famous restaurant.
Oh, I went to Paul Bocu's.
Yeah, so you've had food on your radar for a long time. Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, a year in France, in Lyon, which calls itself the world capital of gastronomy. And I mean, I think there's a billboard as you drive into Lyon that says "Welcome to Lyon, world capital of gastronomy." No, and food there, you know, was just amazing. As a student, and you know, like finding the little places around town where you could get a menu for 10 francs and things like that.
And a menu is it like?
It's like this, you know, several courses, yeah. Yes, and you get to choose each one, you know. So, and that's when I became. I was the guy who always, if there was a pâté on the first course, I would always get that because I love pâtés and I love liver and all. And you know, even as a little kid, I loved liver. I remember that was a little bit weird, but
it is a little bit weird, yeah.
Because I think as a kid, you're not crazy about strong flavors, and then you have to grow into them. And I mean, sometimes I used to say the only food I don't like is rutabaga. And then I had some rutabaga that I really loved.
Yeah.
They had lots of butter on it, I think. But my mom used to make rutabaga, you know, which is kind of weird.
And you didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Gotcha.
She made it looked like orange mashed potatoes. And I was not crazy about that. It was too strongly flavored for me as a kid, I think. So
my husband makes tatties and neeps, and it's potatoes and rutabaga together as like mash.
Oh.
I don't know why it's called neeps. Maybe it's
Me neither.
Irish term, Scottish term.
Okay.
Because I always thought it was turnips when he said. Anyway, I digress.
No, that's fine.
So you're in France. I mean, like that. What did you discover in France, food-wise?
Food-wise?
I mean, you could tell me about other stories too. But
No. I mean,
there's a lot.
We arrived in September. It was wine picking time. We went to Beaujolais, sometimes in Lyon, which is over on the eastern part of France. Usually Lyon and Marseille both claim to be the second largest city in France. So, but sometimes in Lyon they will say, I mean, Lyon is very much like Pittsburgh. The Rhone and the Saône come together. They continue as the Rhone. They don't have a new name. But there's a hill there with a church on top. It just looks like Mount Washington. They often
felt right at home there.
I did. I just felt at home there, and they sometimes say in Lyon we are the city of three rivers: the Rhone, the Saône, and the Beaujolais, because that is the city that drinks the most Beaujolais. So I remember that early on, but I also at that point I talked to my nieces about this at one point. In 1973, when I went to France as a student, there was still regular transatlantic service in a boat. And I went both ways on the boat.
Really?
And that's a wake up too,
Oh.
because the food is just astounding.
How long was the travel there?
I think going over, it was 5 days and 4 nights. Coming back, it was like 6 days and 5 nights, because in 1973 was the first energy crisis, and they slowed the boat down, which was okay with us. But that crossing in 74, it wasn't the last crossing of the SS France, but it was like one of the last 3, I think. And the reason we came back on the boat was they announced that year that it was going out of service. And we had such a glorious time on it. And so
it wasn't a cruise.
Not a
It was
cruise.
a transit.
Right.
But you
Yes.
had like sleeping rooms and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, and going over, we actually had a porthole. Coming back, because we were paying that was part of the program, UNC. I went to the University of North Carolina. UNC at Lyon, you paid for that trip over on the boat, because that gave everyone a chance to meet each other. Coming back, we were probably half.
Bonding over seasickness.
Yes, I never had to deal with seasickness there.
Okay.
Later on the Irish Sea one time I did. But there you learned to eat the French style in courses, and incredible service. I can remember we were probably a table of 10 or 12 kids. The waiter never took a note. One time delivered the wrong dish to the wrong person and apologized profusely. But it was just, that, and then, living in Lyon for a year, you just learn to eat different things. And, there's steak frites, which are, sort of easy to take, but then also all kinds of, unexpected innards and things like that. And, we try them, see what happens. I remember riz de veau, which is, I think, like shortbreads. Is that what they call shortbreads? R-I. I thought it was a misprint for rice, but it refers to a body part on the animal. So, riz de veau, veal shortbreads, sweetbreads. Sweetbreads. I said shortbreads. Sweetbreads, veal sweetbreads, riz de veau. But all for the better. My mother came over and visited me that year, and I remember her knowledge of cheese was approximately Velveeta. But then when she realized in France they often serve a cheese course where you can taste different cheeses on a board, she just totally fell in love with cheese, and like from that point on, she was not a Velveeta woman. She was, often a brie, but a camembert, and she would just become so much more, adventurous as far as cheeses are concerned. And I think that's it. If you just have an open mind, you can learn to like anything almost.
Yeah, well, cheese is amazing. I interviewed Anais from Chantal's Cheese Shop, and she said
And I think she's from Lyon.
Yeah, her interview is really fun because she talks about how she learned cheese and just, cheese was part of the French culture. But when she came here, it was a little old lady in Eastern Pennsylvania at this little cheese counter who taught her to appreciate cheddar.
Oh, excellent.
And that totally changed her mind about American cheeses. And so now she has a cheese shop here. Yeah, it's great. It's a good story.
I love a good blue cheese, but I also love the meltability of an American white, So,
I don't even, what American, would that be like a cheddar? American white?
Well, no, I think when you say, like sliced American cheese is usually orange, but usually you can also get it white, and that's what I buy. I don't know why, I just like the color better.
The sliced wrapped cheese?
They're not wrapped individually, but, you can get it cut and stacked.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I guess it's probably
I get it at the Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, white American cheese.
Yeah.
So it's good on sandwiches and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
I like the funky cheeses.
Oh,
anyway,
that's why I said I love a good blue too.
Yeah, France is the place for cheese. Though.
Right, exactly.
I haven't been there since my appreciation for cheese has escalated, so I need to go back.
Need to go back. We all do.
Yep, absolutely. Travel is amazing. So you went to Brazil
as a foreign exchange student in high school. And then I did my junior year abroad in France. So those are my international years. No, I didn't do a year in Brazil. I just did the summer, 3 months.
Their winter.
Their winter, but I was in Rio, so that's like being in Miami.
Yeah. Yep.
And just great things the whole time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I remember eating. Well, we had a banana tree in our backyard.
Oh my God.
And
that's so cool.
And they would bring the bunch of bananas in and put it on the counter in the kitchen. It would take up a huge part of the counter, but they wouldn't eat the bananas until the ants came in, because then they knew they were perfectly ripe.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so we waited for the ants to come in before we would start to eat. And they were little bananas, little wee bananas, and really, really good.
And the little ants, too.
No, we didn't eat. Ants. Yes, little ants.
No, you're not eating them, but yeah.
Yeah, but you could see them come in the back door. They found America's efforts to block insects weird.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
No screens on the windows and things.
Well, most countries south of the U.S. border have their kitchens outside, and yeah, there are bugs out there, and that happens. I mean, I remember when we were in Ecuador, you have to put this is something that I learned, you put your sugar bowl in a bowl of water so the ants don't get in your sugar.
Oh, excellent.
Just a little water.
All right.
Or a little saucer or something just with water, because ants can't swim. I guess they can if they build their life raft with each other. That's a thing. But anyway, they don't do that just to get to the sugar. They go somewhere else.
All right.
And that's how they had, like when we would have coffee or whatever, they'd put out the sugar and it would be in a little coaster of water.
Right.
It's neat.
Excellent. Good trick.
So with Bowl and Spoon is about people's personal food evolution. So you've had a really good, solid foundation of food in your life with adventurous and traveling, and then you are fortunate enough to have a career that allows you to indulge in a lot of these loves and travels as well. So I know you've had a recent evolution because you started telling me about it at the bowls.
Right.
So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it was during the pandemic. I mean, the way I tell the story is I got a postcard in the mail addressed to resident, not to me, but it was, do you want to be in a study at UPMC? And I usually throw those things away, but I glanced at it because it was during the pandemic and you were paying more attention to such things. And
you read everything you get in the mail. Junk mail was golden at the time.
I thought, I meet the criteria. I was over 60, I was overweight, and my doctor had used the term pre-diabetic. And I thought, well, maybe I should give this a try. It was during the pandemic. And there was a phone number to call. So I called the number and they said, well, you have to come in, we have to draw blood, we have to do this and do this. And, but if you were willing to try all that, we'd love to have you. And it was at Belfield Towers in Oakland, which was, just 2 blocks from QED. I went in and they did all that stuff and they said, yes, we'd love to have you. And so it was a gradual process, but it was to try and help people lose weight, get off the list of, pre-diabetic, although I think there's so many people pre-diabetic, and I don't even know if I'm still pre-diabetic, who knows. In the process, they had us gradually start to write down everything we ate, start to count calories, start to increase your exercise, and I lost 150 pounds. It was incredible. So it changed the way I eat, I think, a little bit. I cook more at home, as I said. I don't go out as much as I used to. Because I think you can control it so much better when you cook it yourself. I can't say that this year has been as good as that year. I've probably gained a good 20. When I put on some shirts, I think stop eating so much.
Well, good thing you have that great shirt collection now.
I do have a great shirt collection now. So I think shopping at thrift stores was part of the process.
Because you had to replace your shirts.
Yes. Yeah. Shirts, pants, everything. And I think, it was part of the reinforcement. Oh, new things. It was my sister who said to me, you should go to the thrift store, check out Goodwill. And so, I could do a really good guide to, although, people say, which is best? Well, I said, there's no way to tell you which is the best thrift store because the things are different every time you go. Yeah. So, one time you can find something you really want, the other time there's nothing there. So.
Well, the red, white, and blue over in 51 is pretty awesome.
Yes.
I always end up with a gem when I go in there. Like these amazing Doc Martens that I got once where I just walked in and they were there and they were my size. Those things happen.
Yes.
So people have the experiences that they're like, that one.
Actually, yeah, there's a red, white, and blue overall also on Ohio River Boulevard. There's 2 red, white, and blues in town.
North, yeah.
And they're both good. Trip out to West Mifflin, you can hit the big Salvation Army as well as a really nice Goodwill. So,
Oh man, yeah, we definitely have our share of Goodwills and thrift stores and estate sales, and
exactly.
it just made you more intentional about eating.
Yes.
So it made you like
more careful.
Okay.
Yeah, more careful and aware. Yeah, maybe that's it. A heightened awareness of Also,
I'm assuming you don't track your
not anymore.
meals anymore. Yeah.
No, that was 18 months. It was a phone call once a week.
Okay.
Not a Zoom call, just a phone call, but usually with like 12 people or some fraction of the 12 people on the line. And I only met one other person who stopped me in the street one day and said, "Are you the Rick on the phone calls?"
So this is no visuals.
No visuals whatsoever.
Interesting. So they didn't know that it was you.
Well,
I mean, you're
maybe.
pretty well known in Pittsburgh, so.
I know, but we never use last names. I was just Rick.
Yeah.
It
That's
worked
cool.
out. Yeah.
So
Awareness.
you supported each other and encouraged
We told
each
stories.
other.
Yeah. And, I think, we don't even know like how much other people lost. Although the woman who did stop me and say, "Are you the Rick on the DPP study?" That's what it's called. Diabetes Prevention Program. But she was also so happy about being like 3 dress sizes smaller. And she talked about that on the thing quite a bit on the phone calls. And then also when I see her, and I still see her in the neighborhood, she'll stop.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what was it that you realized that you were maybe overindulging in, or what was your?
Well, I would say a major
thing you had to cut back on.
a major revelation was I drink a lot less than I used to. Alcohol. Because I realized that my passion was for the food, not the drink. Now, I certainly haven't stopped drinking, but I usually just drink on Wednesday nights when I go to the independent brewing company in Squirrel Hill.
When you're spinning.
When I'm spinning records. Yep. Afterwards, we have dinner. And, they make great cocktails, and now they have a brewery in Homestead, Golden Age Beer, and they make great beers. And, that's the night that I have a couple of drinks. Sometimes we'll have a drink even while we're spinning records. Lance Jones has become sort of my partner DJ there. He used to work at QED as well. We sometimes have a theme and sometimes don't, and, just like doing that. So that was a major thing. I used to go to Piper's Pub and have several beers on Thursday nights with a bunch of friends. I mean, whom I still, love and count as great friends, the people that I met at Piper's Pub. But I don't drink nearly as much beer as I used to. But I think I was doing it for social reasons rather than passion.
Do you still go out? Are you still social? Or do you
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think,
not giving that up. That's
yes.
good.
No. Although I think, like I say, I go out less to eat. And so, anywhere I go, if I can, if it's with a bunch of people, I'll have a beer.
Yeah.
But, mostly just for social reasons.
Yeah.
Not that I'm craving a beer. And, and I don't know how to make sure that this all continues, but I wanted to, so we'll see.
So you cut down on the massive calories that come with alcohol
right.
and alcoholic beverages. Anything else?
Probably less bread. But, I find that I throw away more bread, more moldy bread than anything else as far as like food waste is concerned. Bread is, I want to buy bread and I love bread, but I don't use it that much. So,
Yeah, I was telling you about the Third Space Bakery, and their breads, at least for the one woman, Chloe, who makes the bread, she does everything is sourdough, all sourdough.
So it lasts long?
The fermentation process changes the grain, and so it's more easily digestible and usable by your body. So it's interesting. It's different than just eating the white bread and those kind of carbs.
Cool.
I don't know the exact science. I'm not a scientist, but
I will definitely check it out.
Interesting, yeah, and it's got so much more flavor too. It's just so incredible.
Well, on my walks, I can walk past the Madeleine where they.
Oh yes, I've heard that's really good. I haven't been there yet.
But I also love 5 Points in Squirrel Hill. In fact, they make a vegan walnut cranberry oatmeal cookie that I just have come to adore. And
This is 5 Points?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the thing was, when my podcast at QED called Gum Bands, I would buy a dozen cookies just to have there for everybody, and everybody wanted those, so I just started getting a dozen of those. But as far as cookies are concerned, that's also the thing I like to make most. I make I now call it an everything cookie. My mom made them as cowboy cookies, which I think was out of like the Betty Crocker cookbook or McCall's magazine or something like that. And, oatmeal, chocolate chip. But then at some point along the way, I thought, we could be putting anything in these cookies. And so that's why now they're Rick's Everything cookies. I put any dried fruits that I have. I usually put, several shots of some sort of alcohol and.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean everything. So
it gives some nice flavor for sure.
For sure. No, I mean I love Grand Marnier in a cookie.
Oh yeah.
But I'll use Maggie's Farm rum. Anything like that. Just really anything to enhance the flavors. And she here mentioned at the grill here mentioned that she makes those patties from stuff from Weatherbury Farms. And I was out in West Middleton, Pennsylvania, visiting a friend's antique store called Poor Johnny's in West Middleton. And there were some women there, and they were saying, today's Weatherbury Farms Day. And I said, what's Weatherbury Farms Day? And they said, that's when this local farm will sell you their grain. And I said, I'm getting ready to make Christmas cookies. Do you think they have rolled oats? And they said, call and ask, and you're supposed to order in advance. You're not supposed to call that day. But I called and I said, I just wondered, do you guys have rolled oats? And she goes, that's one of our specialties.
Cool.
And I said, without having ordered in advance, can I come by? And she goes, of course. So I went by, and now it's a regular thing. And they've taught me about primitive wheats. There's organic grains we grow. Okay, so they make spelt einkorn, and they've taught me so much.
How do you spell einkorn?
Einkorn.
Oh, look, they've got Danko rye. That's me. Danko. It's a Slovak
Excellent.
name. Cool.
Sebak is Slovak too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what part of Slovakia your family's from?
Humana.
Humana. What part is that?
It's over in eastern Slovakia.
My family is from Trebešov,
Okay.
which is in eastern Slovakia.
All right. U.S. Steel has a plant there in Humana now.
Oh, wow.
And I also know that it's where Paul Newman's mother is from. So,
Wow.
Yeah. But
The family history, so we're all related.
yeah, so Weatherbury Farms has spelt einkorn, and they have a new one too. But they are primitive wheats. I remember when I first bought their spelt to use instead of all-purpose flour in my cookies, and it makes a really wonderful taste and texture.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
That they said, do you remember there was a guy found encased in ice in Switzerland. I can't remember what they called him, the Iceman or something like that. And in his stomach was spelt.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
so, I just always
eating the ancient grains or the,
right.
like, I guess they call them heirloom, maybe. What do they call them? Primitive grains?
Primitive grains.
Yeah.
I want to say, I think this third one that they have now is, which I don't think I've tried yet, is this emmer. And let me just see. I think emmer may be it's a hulled wheat of a type of awned wheat. It is a tetraploid. There's too much science here. But I think that's the third of their primitive wheats.
I love that.
Oh,
When they
no.
get back to the ancient grains.
And it just makes the cookies more interesting.
Yeah, so you made your Christmas cookies with that one year?
I do it all the time now. Whenever I make the cookies, yes. That was also, when everyone was baking during the pandemic, I was making cookies and sharing them with old friends.
So you want to redo a hot dog show?
I would love to do a hot dog. To do a hot dogs.
Hot dog.
Hot dogs, yes. But I also would like to do the show that I'm now calling in my head Chicken Dinner, because people would say winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
And you know, by calling it chicken dinner, it wouldn't have to all be fried, although that would be the concentration.
You can't do both together.
Can't do hot dogs and chicken?
Yeah.
No, you could at the same time make two different. That's the way when we do national shows.
Oh.
We would do two different topics. So if you went to Milwaukee, you would find a hot dog place and a chicken place. That kind of thing. Yeah.
You don't focus just on Pittsburgh.
No, for those national shows, and there's like, I don't know, there's 15 or 16 national shows. So my pie show, my bakery show, hot dogs, cemeteries. I did one on flea markets, and I did one on food markets called To Market to Buy a Fat Pig. Those are all national shows where we travel. I like to travel in the van if we're on this side of the Mississippi. If we go to the other side, we'll generally fly and then, move around. So, those are dreams.
Yeah, so how this is really great, because I'm just starting my podcast and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it, where I'm going to go with this next part of my career. So how do you pitch these things? How did you get to do these? And you have a crew that goes with you. How does this happen?
Well, it happened just because, I came to QED in '87 as a local producer, and we started, producing shows, Kennywood Memories, things that aren't there anymore. And because of the success we were having here, there at that time no longer exists. There was an organization called PPTN, Pennsylvania Public Television Network, and they would always fund statewide shows. And Nancy Lavin, the woman who hired me at QED, said, we should, pitch one of your kind of shows as opposed to Disease of the Month, which she said they did a lot of Disease of the Month shows.
That sounds like fun.
And I said, I just like to do a show about traveling Pennsylvania to see different things. And so we did a show called the Pennsylvania Road Show. And it included everything from, golf courses to all kinds of things, Dinosaur Land, anything that, was goofy. And at one point we had some camera trouble. We had to stay in the Harrisburg area for a couple of days, and we borrowed a camera from WITF, public television station there in Harrisburg. And so we did a story about a diner, Lee's Diner in York, Pennsylvania. And when we put the show together and showed it at QED in the screening, Chris Fenimore, our QED cook, said, I could watch a whole hour on diners. And I said, I could make a whole hour on diners. And that led to Pennsylvania Diners. We put together a proposal, took it to PPTN, and they said yes. And all of my shows we had sent to PBS, saying, would you consider airing these nationally? And they would always say, oh, they're too local, too parochial. Just you people in Pittsburgh care about these things. And then with the diner show, they said, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter if people don't know these specific diners. Everybody knows this kind of restaurant. And they agreed to do a national airing of diners. And I always say, I think we were blessed at the time when diners first came out, was the era when people would click through channels with their remote. Rather than look at a list, they would click through to see what was on. And it looked unusual to see a show on public television about diners. We got great ratings across the country. And at that point, PBS said, oh, let's do some more of this. And could you give us a list of 10 topics you would consider?
Oh my gosh.
And so I did. And we ended up, I think, maybe we did all 10. I'm not sure. But, there were just things I knew would work. And that, became the way those programs happen. Unfortunately, regimes change within organizations, and the people that, were so excited about that have gone on. And, so it's always anew. It's not like, it's nice to have a record of having done these, but each time it's like you're starting from ground zero. So that's sort of where I am right now, and we're going to see what happens.
You've had an amazing career from that sort of.
Yes, and total luck.
Yeah, and that's that's what I'm hearing from you and from like Doug Oster, and just keep going and doing things that you love and things that you're interested in, and something will catch on.
Well, I mean, and I say to kids today, you know, when I was learning some of these skills in college, we were dealing with Super 8 movies, silent. Now you carry a broadcast quality camera in your pocket. You know, it's astounding. So, yeah.
If I had to carry the gear, that would totally throw me off. Yeah, I love the idea of just, you know, take my phone and do this.
Exactly.
My tiny little mics.
Hey.
See how they work for today.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you know, it's always a challenge, and it's always interesting and fun. And, you know, if I get to share enthusiasm, that makes me happy.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
I hope this worked. I don't know. I applaud any podcast that celebrates food.
Thanks.
Was this at all useful?
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
With Bowl and Spoon is written, produced and hosted by Shelley Danko Day. Original theme song was written and performed by Paul LeBreeze and friends. You can listen to With Bowl and Spoon wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, review and share. Follow us and send us questions or messages on Facebook and Instagram at With Bowl and Spoon. Thanks for listening.
Bowl and Spoon, wherever you get your podcasts.